Hey guys, welcome back to another upSchool video. Today we're going to be explaining Class 8 Geography, Chapter 1, Resources. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more upSchool videos. Let's begin. Introduction. In this video, we're going to be learning about what is a resource, natural resources, human-made resources, human resources, conserving resources, and then we'll end off this video. So let's begin. What is a resource? A resource is anything that satisfies a need. For example, water. Water satisfies a need because it has utility. All resources have utility. Utility means use, or yes, the use of an object. Also value. Value means worth. If anything has utility and value and it satisfies a need, it is a resource. Water satisfies the utility, obviously, of drinking, and water has so much value in today's world. That makes water a very important resource. Other things like toys is not a resource because it's more of a want, and it does not have utility, it does not have value, it satisfies a want, not a need, so that makes a toy not a resource. So these are some important points which in an exam these are very important to write down. Resource is anything that satisfies a need. Utility or usability is what makes anything a resource. Anything becomes a resource if it has value. Value means worth. So try to kind of learn these points. Natural resources. Now, if you look at this mind map, it may look a little scary, but trust me, there's not much to it. Just try to understand the broad topic, natural resources. Natural resources. We see the word resource, but natural, as you all know, is anything nature related. So nothing made by humans. Any resource that's made from nature is natural resources. So natural resources can be classified on the basis of 4 different things. On the basis of development, on the basis of distribution, on the basis of origin, and they can be broadly categorized. On the basis of development, it can be classified into 2 types: actual resources and potential resources. Actual resources, the resources whose quantity is known. We'll look into the examples of each of these different resources later. On the basis of distribution, it can be classified into ubiquitous resources and localized resources. Potential resources is when the quantity of resources is not known and it can be used in the future. Ubiquitous resources are resources that are found everywhere, like air, water, etc. Localized resources are resources that are found in specific places. On the basis of origin, natural resources can be classified into biotic and abiotic. Many of you already know this. Biotic means living, and abiotic means non-living. Natural resources can broadly be categorized into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are resources which are unlimited and they get renewed quickly. Non-renewable resources can be exhausted and they have a limited stock, so they cannot be renewed. So now let's look into examples of each of these different resources. An example of actual resources is petroleum. Examples of potential resources is uranium, obviously because potential resources, its quantity is unknown, and uranium, its quantity is unknown, and uranium can be used in the future. Ubiquitous resources examples are coal, because coal is found on Earth. Examples of localized resources is air, because localized resources can be found anywhere, such as air. Examples of biotic resources are animals, living. Examples of abiotic resources are rocks, because the rocks are non-living. Examples of renewable resources are water, because water, the water cycle can be renewed quickly and it can be recycled, so that makes it renewable resources. Although in today's world, this is not happening. Examples of non-renewable resources are iron ore, because they cannot be replaced and they cannot be exhausted. And in today's world, we're actually running out of non-renewable resources. which is actually a problem. Human-made resources. Some natural resources are not a resource until it has been changed or made by humans. Examples can be a tree. A tree is a natural substance, but a tree is not a resource. Sure, if it's an apple tree, it is a resource, but only the apples are resources. But the tree itself is not a resource. Because it doesn't really have much usability for humans, and it doesn't really have much of a value. The actual tree itself doesn't have much value. It's a natural substance, no utility, not much value, not a resource. But it can be changed into paper, because the lumber of trees can be changed into paper. It's changed into paper, which has utility, has value, is a resource, due to the help of humans. Humans help make this tree into paper. Paper is a resource because it has utility, value, and that makes paper a resource. So paper is an example of a human-made resource because it's taking a natural substance like the tree and turning it into paper with the help of humans. So paper is a human-made resource. And most of the resources which you see at your home are human-made resources. Unless it has a need. Paper does have a need. So now let's move on to human resources. The brains of humans are resources because the brains of humans are helping to create things such as solar panels. That makes human beings resources. Our minds are resources because we're creating new resources, we're creating new innovations. Though two different people may have different perspectives, the knowledge of humans is a resource because our knowledge has value in today's world. That makes humans resources, which is why there is such a thing called human resources. Conserving resources. In about 2 centuries, approximately, Earth will look like this. Water will dry up, most trees will be cut down, and all of this is because we're using up our natural resources, and non-renewable resources will be exhausted or will run out. Maybe Earth will look like a desert in the future. But we can prevent this from happening if we do something called resource conservation. We're using up our resources, so we should try to conserve our resources or save our resources so that water will not dry up. We have to save water, a resource. Most trees will be cut down, but we can prevent that from happening. And we should not use up all our natural resources. We should try to save our natural resources. And we should try not to exhaust or run out of non-renewable resources. And we should try to use more renewable resources so that we won't waste non-renewable resources. An example of non-renewable resources is petroleum, but we can save the amount of petroleum by using a renewable resource such as electricity. So let's talk about resource conservation. Resource conservation means to use more renewable resources, saving water, not wasting paper. Paper and water are two very important resources we should save. And as a student, or as just you might think that only scientists and companies can do resource conservation, but even you at home, you can do resource conservation by just saving two simple but important things such as water and paper. So sustainable development means to conserve resources effectively for our future. So let us try to do sustainable development by conserving our resources and saving water and paper. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more upSchool videos. And if you have any video suggestions, like me explaining any chapter in the NCERT syllabus, please let me know in the comments below and I'll try to hook you up. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Peace.